Everyone dreams of living an uncommon life, and the best asset you have to achieve your dreams is you. Welcome to the Uncommon Wealth Podcast. We're going to introduce you to people who are living uncommonly. We're also going to give you some tools and strategies for building wealth and for pursuing an uncommon path that is uniquely right for you.
Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of the Uncommon Wealth Podcast. Super excited that you're with me. Man, what a week it's been. I want to just kind of recap this week and kind of think about some key points, maybe some uncommon viewpoints and some takeaways that I've had. So what happened this week? Okay, so I went to Colorado. I've gone, this is probably my fourth or fifth time to a Build a Better Agency Summit, the BABA Summit, if you will. And what this is a lot of company owners that own agencies. So think marketing companies all get together. I have a good friend named Drew McClellan. He kind of started this, or actually purchased this, but he kind of evolved this into what it is now, which is a community of like-minded people who all run an agency, and they encourage each other, they support each other, and they try to learn from each other. They have awesome content. Every year I get to go. So why did I get to go? Well, I have the awesome opportunity to serve a lot of these agency owners and help them with their 401k plans and just be financial advice and be the person they go to ask them what they should do. It's awesome. The people are great. But so it's 2 days of a lot of content, just really good content, really good speakers. And I always like to have kind of a recap of what I learned and just hanging out with some great people. Memories are always made. This is actually how I met Greg and Libby Olson, which they've been on the show. They were there. So just think of that like kind of high caliber people hanging out together. So the first thing is, what is my role? So I gotta be the advice to them, but when I go there, it's super interesting. I get to be a sponsor. So I sponsored the journals. And so that's why I put this out here. But the journal has actually it's the dumbest thing. And it's not like I get a lot of business from it, but you can sponsor and you can have a table there. So there are probably 6 to 8 tables, and then you can go and kind of engage in these people, and it's kind of fun. But I choose not to do that. One, because I don't want any barrier between me and people. I want to engage. I want to be all in. And when you're at a table, you have to man the table. Then you have this barrier of I don't want to go talk to that guy because I think he's going to sell me something. So I just go, I have the journals, and I get to have a great 2 days of just hanging out with some great people and consuming content when it's not really my industry, right? I don't really have an agency. I don't really know what they're talking about most of the time, but every time they talk about it, I'm I get nuggets and pearls away from the talks, and I really enjoy it because I'm not drinking from a fire hose like most of these people are. They're getting hit with a lot of the stuff, and that's their business. So one of the biggest topics was AI. And as a marketer, I think the big fear is AI is going to take away our industry. Everyone's going to go to artificial intelligence. They're going to start using that as their agency. And it was fascinating to me. One of my biggest takeaways is AI is really uncovering cracks and insecurities that people have. So if you feel like you're not providing value or you don't understand what your true value is, AI is scary. So don't think it isn't, but if you understand who your true value is and that your self-worth doesn't come from outside influences and you truly have a strong faith or you have confidence in the value you can bring, I don't feel like you have as much of a fear that AI is going to take over your whole industry. That is universal. I think a lot of people in a lot of industries are wondering, what is this AI going to do to my job? And I feel like the people who have real strong confidence and real strong self-worth, they feel like this is going to complement what they want to do and the value they bring to people. That was just one takeaway. But I would say 80% of the conference was talking about AI and how to use it and how to utilize it in order to bring value to clients and customers. I think it was a really good talk, but at the end of it, I was really feeling the sense of I don't know if I ever am that worried about AI, other than I'm super excited to utilize it to then handle all the back office stuff that I don't really love to do and I'm not great at. But the relationships to me are like what's key. And AI, I think, will try to take over relationships. I don't know if it ever will. I don't know if it will for older generations. Maybe it is for younger generations. And I'm just naive. But that was my first takeaway. The second takeaway that I had was, let me look at it. In 3 years, the majority of content that people are consuming will probably be AI driven. Wait, what? Like, this podcast might be going away in 3 years. Is kind of what I took away from that, because everybody will be consuming content that's AI driven. And I thought about that. I mean, we've been doing this podcast for I don't know how long, a long time. And I was like, would that make me sad? And I think, honestly, it would. But if people are consuming AI content, like, I could see how it could go away. Or I feel like there's going to be people who truly seek out that human generated content. And this could be maybe the time that this podcast blows up. I don't know. Probably won't be. But it's a thought. And it really did make me think of like, okay, in 3 years, a lot of this stuff is coming down and it's going to change a lot. Is that good or bad? I don't know. But for me, again, it was kind of a scary thought. And then I was like, well, maybe it's a good thing, because I think I will start trying to seek out human-driven content that I appreciate, and it helps me change my perspective. So there's my second one. Third one was my favorite breakout. So they have keynotes. They do a great job. And then you can go to breakouts. And the breakout that I went to was like performing under pressure. I think that was like the first one. And I was like, well, I need to do that. Let's go ahead and do it. And the speaker got announced, and he had his undergraduate and his master's in theater and arts and like acting. And I was like, if my child would have got a master's in acting, I'd be like, you're throwing your money away. So first, this is like a humbling story for Phillip. So this gentleman gets up, they read the bio. You know how you always have to read the bio, and then this guy comes up, and he just has a very confident, like, demeanor. I guess that's all I can think of. He just has a confident demeanor. He gets up and he starts talking about just speaking in front of people and how scary it is. And so he said, today we're going to work on some of you, like you guys are the audience. I'm speaking because I want to give you guys value. It's not about me, it's about you guys. And so let's bring a couple people up from the audience and let's work on your speaking to get you more confident. And, you know, like, he did a great job of setting this up first. So like right away I was like, oh my goodness, like, I can totally see how your master or your undergrad and your master, like, this is a valuable resource. Like, the study that he has perfected is super valuable. And so I was eating my words completely. If I was like, if my kid wanted to do that major, I'd be like, there's no way you're going to get a job. But this guy absolutely dominated it. His name was Russell Ewing. You can look him up, but really a really good speaker and confident, and like kind of used the stage. He brought two people up in the little breakout that I was in, and really helped them, gave them really good confidence of like, hey, the first thing that you say like really matters, and what you do with your hands, and where you stand on the stage. And he just nitpicked in a loving way. Like, don't think it was bad. These two people that came up and really helped them become a better speaker. One, I love speaking. I mean, love is probably a strong word. I like speaking. I'm not very great at it in front of people. I mean, podcasting is one thing, but when you're in front of an audience, one of the things he did was had them pause, ask a question and just pause. And the first person that did it paused for maybe half a second. It wasn't really a pause. And he was like, how long do you think you paused? And I don't know, like 3 seconds. And Russell's like, okay, it wasn't that long. And at the end, this gentleman actually paused for probably a good 7 seconds. And he was like, it felt like an eternity. So the value that we have and what we try to hone our craft in does matter. Even if it's like the most mundane major or the mundane thing that you've tried to hone, there's value in that. And Russell totally proved me wrong, because I was in the audience like, what is this going to be about? And it did encourage me to say, like, speaking is a craft, and it's something that you can train yourself to do, which made me excited about, like, maybe the future is that I get to speak in front of some audiences and encourage them to be uncommon, to think uncommonly, to go out and have some kind of like uncommon wealth that not a lot of people have, but it's valuable to a few. And in that value, there is a way to provide for your family and provide an extra level of fulfillment in your life. So that's my podcast for today. The Babas Summit, really enjoyed it. Drew did a great job. His team did a great job. Everything ran smoothly. And I've been in the travel director world, and it's not smooth. And it takes a lot of hard work at the beginning to make it run smoothly. And they did it flawlessly. So a lot of food, a lot of laughs. I think I'm a lead singer of a band now. I'm not quite sure. More to come on that. But just great memories were made, and I'm super grateful to be a part of that. So, Build a Better Agency Summit, thanks again for a great year. I'll be back next year, and I'm sure we're going to have some great takeaways and some great laughs and memories to go with it. So, you've been listening to the Uncommon Wealth Podcast. I've been your host, Phillip Ramsey. Till next time, go be uncommon and think a little bit different about maybe something that you might have thought was different in the past. Have a different perspective on it, because it can be valuable. Thanks for listening.
That's all for this episode, brought to you by Uncommon Wealth Partners. Be sure to visit uncommonwealth.com to learn more about our services. Don't miss an episode as we introduce you to inspiring people who are actively pursuing an uncommon life.